Hi everyone, I'm Emma. 2 years ago, I married James Miller, thinking I had found my soulmate. Everything was perfect until our baby Lucy arrived 6 months ago. Don't get me wrong, Lucy is the joy of my life, but her arrival seemed to bring out the worst in my mother-in-law, Martha. It started with Martha criticizing how I held Lucy, saying I was doing it wrong and would cause bad posture. She would barge into our house without warning, constantly criticizing everything I did. At first, I tried to be understanding because she's James's mom. One evening, I told James, "Your mom changed Lucy's feeding schedule again." He replied, "Honey, that's just how she is. She raised 2 kids successfully. Maybe we should listen to her experience." After that conversation, I called my best friend, Sarah, and asked, "Am I being too sensitive?" Sarah quickly responded, "No way. She rearranged your entire kitchen because she didn't like your setup. That's not normal." Things got worse when James's younger brother, Tom, came to visit. He told me, "Emma, I've got to tell you something. Mom's always been like this." She drove away James's college girlfriend, Katie, the same way. I asked, "What do you mean?" Tom explained, "She would show up uninvited, criticize everything, and then cry to James about how Katie was pushing her away. Katie eventually couldn't take it anymore." One afternoon, while putting away groceries, I met Diana, Martha's neighbor. She was dropping off some mail that got mixed up. She said, "Oh, you're James's wife. How are you holding up?" I asked, "What do you mean?" Diana replied, "Martha's quite a piece of work. I've seen her do this before. She did the same thing to her daughter-in-law next door. They moved across the country to get away from her." Later that night, I found that all of my carefully organized baby clothes were completely rearranged. Martha proudly said, "I did you a favor. Your organization system didn't make sense. And I threw away those ugly onesies your mom bought. They weren't good enough for my granddaughter. Those onesies were special to me, and I was furious." "You had no right," I yelled. Martha then said, "James, sweetie, Emma's yelling at me again. I'm only trying to help." Right on cue, James appeared and said, "Emma, Mom's been raising kids longer than us." James said, "Maybe we should appreciate her help." I stood there, watching him comfort his mother as she fake sobbed into his shoulder. I realized this was just the beginning of my nightmare. Sarah had been right, this wasn't normal, and something had to change. I didn't know how bad things would get, or that Martha's help would soon become dangerous. Things got even worse after Lucy's first birthday. During a family gathering, I overheard Martha talking to James's Aunt Karen in the kitchen. She said, "I'm just worried about the baby. Emma's so careless with her. Yesterday, I caught her texting while feeding Lucy. And have you noticed how Lucy doesn't look anything like James?" I froze in the doorway, my heart racing. "What are you implying, Martha?" I asked. Martha replied, "Well, Emma works such long hours at that physical therapy clinic, with lots of male patients. I'm just saying we should maybe get a DNA test." The rumors spread quickly through the family. At every gathering, I could feel people's suspicious looks and overhear conversations that would stop as soon as I walked into the room. One morning, while making Lucy's bottle, Martha showed up uninvited. As usual, I was holding Lucy in one arm, testing the formula's temperature, when Martha said, "You're doing it wrong again. Let me help." Before I could respond, she accidentally bumped into me, knocking a pot of boiling water. The scalding liquid hit my arm and splashed onto Lucy's leg. My baby's screams filled the kitchen. "Oh my, how clumsy of you, Emma," Martha said. "See what happens when you don't let me help." Sarah met us at the ER. Lucy had minor burns, but my arm was severely scalded and needed skin grafts. I told James, "Your mother did this on purpose." But James replied, "Emma, stop. Mom would never hurt Lucy. You probably shouldn't have been holding her while making the bottle anyway." That night, while looking for Lucy's favorite pacifier behind the nursery bookshelf, I found something that made my blood run cold, a tiny camera, carefully hidden. I called Sarah over after work, and together we found 3 more cameras around the house. "This is insane," Sarah said. "We need to document everything." She helped me take pictures of the cameras and start keeping a log of Martha's accidents and comments. Tom stopped by after hearing about the burn incident. "Emma, there's something you need to know about Katie, James's ex, the real reason she left. Mom did more than just criticize her. She started spreading rumors that Katie was unstable and planted things in their apartment to make James doubt her." "Why didn't you tell me this before?" I asked. Tom replied, "I tried to warn James, but he never believes anything bad about Mom. Katie had a breakdown and moved across the country. She wasn't the first, either. There was another girlfriend before her, Rachel, same pattern. I looked down at my bandaged arm and then at Lucy, peacefully sleeping in her crib, the same pattern. History was repeating itself, but this time, Martha had gone too far. She had hurt my baby, and I knew then that something had to change. Emma, you need to see this, Tom said, handing me a worn leather journal he'd found while cleaning Martha's attic. It's Mom's diary. I started reading the entries, and my hand shook as I read. June 15th, James brought home another woman. This Emma thinks she's special. They all do, but I'll make sure she knows her place, just like I did with Katie. September 3rd, Emma's pregnant. This complicates things, but babies are excellent leverage. I kept reading the diary. December 10th, found the perfect spots for cameras. Once I have enough footage of her mistakes with the baby, James will see the truth. April 20th, the boiling water worked perfectly. Now everyone sees how careless she is with Lucy. James is already doubting her, just like with Katie, when I planted those pills in their apartment. That evening, Diana called me. Emma, after the burn incident, I installed security cameras outside my house. Yesterday, I caught Martha bragging to her friend about the accident. I have it on video. I showed James the diary and Diana's footage. Look at this, your mother admitted to hurting us. James replied, this is ridiculous, Mom would never do that. You're just trying to turn me against her. Maybe she's right, you're becoming unstable. The next day, I filed a police report about the burns and the harassment. Within hours, Martha was at our door, crying hysterically. James, Emma's gone completely mad. She's making up lies about me. Remember how I told you she's been acting strange, taking Lucy at odd hours, being secretive? I think she needs psychiatric help. I calmly said, get out of my house. James stepped between us, facing me. Emma, maybe Mom's right. You haven't been yourself lately. Maybe you should talk to someone. That night, I packed our essentials while James was with his mother. Sarah helped me load Lucy and our things into her car. You can stay with me as long as you need, she said, hugging me. My phone buzzed with a message from James. Mom showed me more evidence of your erratic behavior. I can't let you endanger Lucy. My lawyer will contact you. I looked at my sleeping daughter in the rearview mirror as we drove away. The woman who tried to destroy us had finally shown her true face, and so had my husband. But this wasn't over, not by a long shot. The courtroom fell silent as Tom took the stand. Your Honor. Tom took the stand and said, I witnessed my mother's systematic abuse. Here are copies of text messages where she planned to install hidden cameras in Emma's house. She told me these cameras would prove Emma was an unfit mother. Then Diana testified, showing the security footage. In the video, you could clearly hear Martha bragging about causing the burns on Lucy. My lawyer presented Martha's diary. The judge's face darkened as she read the entries. The court recognizes a witness, the judge said, as Katie, James's ex-fiancée, walked in. Katie said, Martha Miller destroyed my life, too. She planted evidence to make James think I was cheating, and secretly medicated my food to make me seem unstable. Two more women, Rachel and Lisa, came forward, each sharing stories of Martha's manipulation and James's refusal to believe them. These are lies, Martha screamed, lunging forward. James, tell them. But James just sat there, finally seeing the truth. As his mother was restrained by court officers, the judge gave her verdict. Mrs. Miller, you face criminal charges for assault and harassment. Mr. Miller, your continuous enabling of abuse makes you unfit for custody. After the hearing, James came to me and said, I should have believed you. I replied, save it, we're done. 3 years flew by. My physical therapy practice, New Beginnings, was thriving. Lucy, now 4, was doing great in preschool. One morning, Sarah burst into my office, holding a newspaper. Look, Martha got 5 years for assault, and James just got fired after multiple women at his company reported harassment. Karma's real. That evening, we celebrated Lucy's birthday at my new house. Tom, Diana, and Sarah were there, my real family. Lucy blew out her candles, surrounded by love and laughter. Make a wish, sweetie, I said. I already got my wish, Lucy replied. Mommy. I hugged my daughter tight, thinking about how far we'd come. Martha was in jail, James was facing his consequences, and we were finally free. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't about getting even, it's about rising above, succeeding, and building a beautiful life despite those who tried to break you. More cake, everyone, Sarah called out, looking around at my chosen family, the ones who stood by me, fought for me, and believed me. I finally felt complete. We didn't just survive, we thrived. And that was the sweetest victory of all. What would you have done if you discovered hidden cameras in your house? Would you immediately confront your spouse or quietly gather evidence like I did? What's the right move when someone you love refuses to see abuse happening right in front of them? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If my story resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe. I post new stories every week about overcoming toxic relationships. Remember, sometimes the people who should protect us the most are the ones we need protection from.